stuff. I thought it'd been more closer toward white oak, but
Grabbing on the inside.
yeah, grabbing on the inside. That ain't much grabbing space. But we don't want to make something you're going to have to whoop. We want a better spot than that to grab it. I don't like that at all. Yeah, I may have to make it a little bit bigger. Dovetail. Wow. It'll work. Again, I just kind of want to show you maybe a little bit of the concept. This is where you don't grab a 5/8 bowl gouge and jump in there. We don't have much hooking. That'd be better. Thing looks pretty out of sync, doesn't it? And this is the reason we didn't finish it before, because it's probably not going to be, it's not going to be really perfect. Again, if you put a little concave surface in there, you don't have to measure it. Yeah, we've got quite a bit off here. Again, I've got, see, this is, my flute is almost closed. Not quite, but I'm still rubbing that bevel, because that bevel is just a very short. It's no more than a 1/16 and a half or something wide. And if you're ever going to try to turn thin, this is a real key to doing that. Because if you get your bow gouge like this, and you got a bevel that's real thick and wide all the way here, when you get a catch, it's got to grab and pull that bow gouge way over here before it quits. But if you're already over here to start with, you can't get a very big catch. And you still got the sharp edge. It's a reinforced edge, and I like that. I started, you know, Johannes Mikes hasn't shown me how to do that, and I do it for hats, but I do it for most everything else also. It's not you can cut, you can make as big a shaving as you want. You know what you ought to do sometime just for fun? Is have a contest to see who could bring in the longest shaving.
In one piece.
In one piece. Yeah, it's got to be in one piece. I got one 85 foot. Big piece of hackberry, making a hat. And I didn't know it was that big until I started measuring. I thought, you got to be kidding me. I put it on top of my wife's car and it went back and forth 5 times. But this is I really like this grind. Again, this is the top of the stool, so You can spend a little time here doing this. Get that little nubbin off. This is I've never done this and this I think this has got to be, maybe this is 3/8, huh?
Can't catch you what you do.
We could shear scrape this a little bit, or you could get in here with a round nose scraper. However you want to do, take that out. Anyway, we can spend a lot of time or not a whole lot of time, either one. The bevel that adds a little bit, maybe. Do a lot of stuff. You know, right here is a good place to do a little lettering or wood burning. Who's it to? We had one of the guys in the group that wrote a song around a bowl one day. You know, just in musical notes. It's great. You do it right here. Okay, there's the seat. And I'll show you another thing here, probably. We can make a hole, but pencil mark works pretty good. Oh, there's my notes. I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know why these keys, Chuck keys, are so hard to find.
There's one in the sawdust, sir. It's all right.
Is it? At this point, we can leave it. You can put a little plug in there. If this is a milking stool, just make your little round thing like this with a little tit on it. Stick it on the bottom. And it'll get a laugh every time somebody sees it. You know, they say, well, what's that? And I say, well, that's a milking stool. You can also come up here and just take that off. If you don't have that if it's not that deep, just put it back on there and cut it off. We can probably do that. Even if it's a little out of round, it won't make any difference. Just cut that off of there. What are we doing on time anyway? There's one more thing I want to show you before we get too far. We got the 3 legs, right? We got them made a hole. How are you going to cut that edge? How are you going to make that stool fit the ground? You're going to walk around and make a line and cut it and then cut it and cut it and cut it? Easier than that. We'll modify this just a little bit. It's amazing what 40 grills do sometimes. That's just a piece of white oak. Actually, it's really come off of, you know, you can get these things, or you can make your own whatever. And we had a template for the top. There it is. There's your 15 degrees.
Mark, make sure he doesn't slide off again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the height is maybe relevant a little bit. Whoop, it does. We might ought to tighten that up a little bit. I think this lathe's been used a little bit, but it's just about enough to. It's gonna be good. There's 15, right? There's 15. Isn't it neat?
Beautiful.
The sandpaper's already there. Oh, this is really stringy stuff. Put a perfect bevel on there. Green wood really plugs sandpaper quick, but it's better than the alternative. We got a few joints that are a little bit loose, but there's our stool. So I've got some pieces and parts for you guys that don't have a bandsaw or a chainsaw. I've got some sets up here. So here's a set, you know, with extra legs. So we're going to draw for these. I think there's, gosh, we could make a bunch of those things here. Maybe we could just, this is ash, kind of dry. But there's some ash, there's some half logs, this is sycamore. Sycamore, I kind of like sycamore, it works, you know, and it has character when it gets done. You say, how'd you get that off like that, you know? Measure, yeah. And I've got some, there's some sets here, some half logs. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 different things. Does anybody got any questions? Very good.
And Gary, we can add that to our raffle.
Sure.
Okay. One thing real quick. We've passed this around and we've had 2 people volunteer to be here on the 8th. I know that there's probably some of you that go to a lot of events and maybe we're kind of waiting to see who wanted to go. I'm going to pass it around again. This is a great opportunity for us to promote our club, but it's also going to be a great opportunity for you to see other art clubs, other